Lolo, what are we doing today? We're gonna go check out some motorcycles.
What's up, guys? So it's that time of the year where Duke Blade, Daddy Duke, thick Daddy Duke is looking for a new bike. The bike that I've always wanted is the KTM SuperDuke 1290 R. Finally, we're gonna go check it out at P&H Motorcycles in Crawley. So we're gonna go have a wander around. Cool thing is that Gabi as well is also on the lookout for a bike too, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what we come up with there. Stay tuned, guys, and we're gonna go check out some motorcycles. GSX 1000R. Banging. Oh, that's the new cafe Scrambler Cafe Racer. I think it's so cool. RC 390. Man, they have everything here. Yeah, Supersport S. So the Supersport's more like a road bike.
I've never seen this one.
It's like a more upright position. Yeah,
I've never seen it. I think it's not very common, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's cheaper as well than the other ones.
Oh my god, that's
CH2. So that's the 690. Oh, that's cool. It's a really interesting position.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think I tried it on, isn't it, last time we came?
No,
I went on.
You were on the 390 before.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh, the kickstand feels really weird.
It just feels like it has. How do you say this thing now?
Clack, 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 clack.
Suspension. Do you like it?
This feels like me, dude.
Yeah, it does.
You can tour on this and everything.
Yeah, looks good. I'm really tiptoeing.
You're really tiptoeing on it. Yeah, it's a bit tall for you, but I think they do smaller seats for children.
It feels weird, because I'm used to be like.
You're very sat in the bike, aren't you?
Size is pretty good because my bike I'm even more like tiptoeing even more.
Yeah.
This one, and because it's lighter, it feels even more comfortable.
But this is comfier than the 690. But this isn't the model that I'm going to be looking at. This is a 16 plate, so even though it's cool and it's got the Akrapovic, the one I'm looking at has the white and orange wheels. It's a single cylinder, so it's got one massive piston going up and down really fast. So it's hugely torquey, but it hasn't got much horsepower. So uncomfortable.
Really?
Ninja's so much comfortable for my thickness, my thick ass.
Oh, it's so tiny.
Yeah.
This is my jam.
This is your jam. You like this, don't you? And it's face down, ass up. You like that?
6.5 hours later.
And we're back, guys, we're back home. Long story short, I'll give you a bit of a rundown of what happened after we left P&H. So we spent about 3 hours at P&H after I turned off the camera, basically chatting to the salesman. Really nice guy about the bike in question. And the SuperDuke that I was looking at was a 14 plate one that wasn't actually in the showroom, it was in their sort of workshop type area. So we had to go to the back and he didn't want us to film in there. Fair enough, we went in there and saw the bike. You know, it looks pretty good. Cosmetically, it was all right. It did have a little bit of engine paint bubbling on the cylinder heads. You know, a 3-year-old bike, I didn't think it would be that bad. So, and you know, it looked fine. It was just a little thing, but you know, I kind of, if you're gonna drop £10,000, you kind of want something a little bit better looking. There was some blemishes with the wheels and a little bit of rust that I could see. So I was kind of like, kind of put off by that a little bit, because you know, for 10 grand, you are paying for a premium, you you're paying for something that looks good, right? It has 15,000 miles on it as well, which isn't a bad thing. You know, I don't think that's high mileage at all. But the issue comes when discussing prices. So the best deal that they could give me was 9,300 and something pounds. For what it is, it's not a bad deal. That being said, there are some other issues with the bike that I'll go into. For 9,400 pounds, there are better bikes with less miles. I saw one on eBay that was also from a dealership that had 3,000 miles on it for that amount of money. There are and there will be better deals out there for SuperDukes. The other issue was that when we checked the service history, the salesman couldn't actually see any service stamps in the service booklet, which, you know, he told me that they've been done, that the servicing has been done because it was done with them. But for me, coming from a dealership myself, I have a bit of an issue when they do backdate service books, because you kind of just get a little bit suspicious about it. And when you are buying a motorcycle that does have a limited warranty on it, you know, it does have a couple months warranty, you do kind of be like, well, you know, I can't really check all this stuff myself, you know, and you are paying a premium for an expensive motorcycle, thus you want everything to be perfect, you know. So for me, that was kind of a little bit off-putting as well. Not the salesman's fault at all, he was a great guy, but just that wasn't there was for me kind of like, okay, well, it's a bit odd. The other thing as well is that he said that it hadn't had its major service yet as well. So the SuperDukes are due a major service, so with the valve clearances being checked at around about 16,000 miles. It hasn't had that done, and so that was another cost that I have to factor into the bike too. Essentially, for 9,300 pounds, as it stands, no service history. That even though I'm sure there is service history, but it's not in the stamp book yet, but I'll assume no service history, that, you know, has rust, a little bit of rust in there. You know, they've had it for a while, it hasn't sold for some reason for them. It has 15,000 miles when there are other models that are cheaper that are for the same price but have way less miles. You know, and it has to have a service which potentially costs, you know, anything up to 600, 700, 800 quid. So for me, it wasn't, you know, factor that into the cost. So for me, it really wasn't that worthwhile. You know, I still really want one of these bikes. And just to put in perspective for you, I asked them, you know, all about financing and stuff like that. And we're not going to go down there's two ways of financing bikes, probably a little bit of information for you guys. So either you pay for the bike straight out, which, you know, I don't really particularly want to drop a whole, you know, £10,000 just in one chunk. On a motorcycle, especially if, you know, the motorcycles, you crash motorcycles. So I'd much rather, even though you have insurance and stuff like that, I feel safer paying on a monthly, and it also means your bank account doesn't suffer that much. So for a £2,500 deposit, I could go higher, but I just wanted to see what the kind of lowest level deposit I could put in and get what kind of rates of return it was. So for £2,500 deposit, the higher purchase, so with higher purchase you pay deposit, and you pay monthly installments, and then at the end of the term you own the motorcycle, whatever the term may be. So for higher purchase, for a £2,500 deposit over 3 years, it was £240 a month, which is quite a lot of money. For sure, that's not including insurance costs as well. So that bike will have quite high insurance premium as well. So I'm expecting it's going to probably be like maybe £40 or £50 a month for the insurance. So essentially you're looking at, you know, £280 a month for the bike, not including road tax. So put it up to £290 a month. You know, just for having the bike, £290 a month, which is expensive. For that, I was kind of like, okay, what would it be like over a 4-year period? So on a 4-year period with the £2,500 deposit, it would be £170 a month, which is a lot more affordable, for sure, a lot more affordable. So I'll probably go down that route when I eventually do find one that I really like. With hire purchase, you know, you can sell the bike before the end of the period if you wanted to. So if I took out for 4 years but I wanted to sell it after 2, I could do that, but I would need to pay off the finance with the company, because if I didn't do that, the bike is technically still owned by the finance company, and the new person who bought the bike wouldn't own it. So I would need to pay off that finance. So that's fine. That's pretty normal nowadays anyway. The other option of financing is PCP. But the problem with PCP is, and what I have an issue with that, is that you get a lot lower rate of monthly payments, but you really never own the bike. And for example, on that bike for PCP, with a very low deposit, I could get it for 60 quid a month, which sounds great. With PCP, you're paying for the depreciation in value of the motorcycle plus they put on interest on top of that. So it's not economical, you never own anything. At the end of that period, let's say you do it for a 2-year term, you can then either pay off the final value fee, which for that bike will be, you know, 6 grand, you know, that's a lot of money, or you could then give the bike back and get something else, which, you know, which a lot of people do as well. But for me, for this, I want to have the SuperDuke for a long time. I don't want to get rid of it. I want it to be a bike to do everything for me. You know, I want to tour on it, I want to do track days, I want to do fucking everything on this bike. So for me, PCP isn't really the way to go. That being said though, I'm test riding the 2017 SuperDuke R tomorrow, which is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna vlog it as well. And I'll be looking for, because I've never ridden one on the bike before, so I thought it was good if I actually test rode one. So even though it's a 2017 model, I won't be buying that, I'll be buying an older generation one, but all I want to see is the engine. You know, I don't want to faff around with the electronics and anti-wheelie control and traction control and cornering ABS and all that stuff. I just want to see what the motor's like and if it works for me as a person, so to do what I do on a day-to-day basis. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'll be doing a video on it, which will be awesome. Yeah guys, I hope you learned something from today. It was really good fun for me and Gabi. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and the subscriber bell. It really helps the channel out. If you do like the content, stick around guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.